Isotope's taken over. Isotope's won from second. Tight goodness. Isotope, what a brilliant man. Great to see her bounce back after what happened last year.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Final Gallop. It is episode 246 and is proudly supported by the Brisbane Airport Hotels Group and PlayUp. This week we're going to preview our big team of 12 runners at the Teddy Bears Picnic Race Day at Eagle Farm on Saturday. Morning, afternoon, Tony. As we look to finish this racing season on a high, it was great to see Inner Sec return to the winner's circle last Saturday.
Yeah, good afternoon, Claire. We're doing the show a touch earlier this week, guys. It was really good to see Inner Sec win. Not often. We always say a horse deserves a win, yada yada, we're going with this, but sometimes they don't get what they deserve. But last week was a case of a horse getting what she deserved.
Absolutely.
She deserved a bit of luck off a wide draw. She got it. She looked like she was in a bit of trouble on the corner, and she was able to pick up and get through, and she won really, really well. So full credit to her, because she's had an amazing prep. She's been up for so long, and if you watched the parade last Saturday, she looked as though she was first up. She looked fantastic. So it was great to see her always looking and parading so well, racing consistently well, and then finally getting a win for the team. So that was terrific. This weekend, Teddy Bears Picnic at Eagle Farm, the last day of the racing season. It feels like it's gone forever. And you know what? There's no off season.
No.
First day starts next week.
No,
so
we need to be like Hong Kong and have an off season.
Yeah, we don't. There's no footy players. They get an off season.
No.
Hong Kong is an off season. We don't. So last day of this year's Metropolitan Racing season. We will probably reflect on that another day, but we'll certainly try and get the job done this Saturday at Eagle Farm. Yeah,
speaking of the last season, we're going to, in next week's episode, we'll do a wrap of the year and look back on the season, which has been the stable's best so far. Onto the Brisbane Racing Club Metro meeting at Eagle Farm on Saturday. The rail will be in the 3 metre position. The track is currently a soft 5 with a forecast for mostly sunny days ahead. The rail goes out 2 metres from a fortnight ago. How do you think the track will play on Saturday?
Yeah, it's interesting. The track's been a bit doughy, actually, of late. So whether that can be corrected at all from them previous meetings this Saturday, I'm just not sure. I'm actually quite happy I'm not in race 1. I have a bit of a look at the track. It's certainly been racing a lot softer, I think, than the rating they've been putting the track up at. I think sectional times probably support that, and that's probably been since about Tats Day.
Okay.
So the track is holding more moisture in the top layer.
Yeah.
I don't think it raced as a good 4 the other day. I think it raced a little bit moister. So look, will there be any bias due to that? I'm not sure, but I do think it's certainly a slower track than what we've seen earlier in the year.
We will start with race 2, which is the benchmark 78 handicap over the 2,400 metres. Flensburg will run in this 53.5 kilos with CJ Graham's 2 kilo claim. Flensburg's drawn barrier 9. He is 1 from 1 at the track on the trip and is coming off a strong finishing 4th at Doomben over 2,000 metres last start.
Yeah, he's 1 for 1 at the trip, that's for sure. 2,400. You don't get a lot of races in Queensland out past the 2,200. I like him dropping down in the weights. I'm surprised how big he is in the market. Obviously, there's a few horses with that southern form in, mostly imported style horses that have that pedigree and probably have raced over that trip overseas, etc. So maybe that's why he's sort of down the list a little bit. I think CJ Graham gets on with him really well.
She does.
I don't think she's ridden him poorly once. She's ridden him well every time. She gets to pull the 2 kilos off now, so congratulations to CJ on losing that 3. She pulls 2 off, he gets in with a nice lightweight. He'll be ridden midfieldish with a bit of cover, and you know for sure he'll stay the trip. So he's a good, honest campaigner. He's no star, but he's a good, honest campaigner, and he never runs poorly in races like this.
No, he does not. Moving on to race 3 now, which is the benchmark 78 handicap over the 1,815 metres. Kuda Tenier runs 55 kilos, Ben Thompson on board, barrier 1. He is second up on Saturday, and he will be for his first up, 5th over the 1,400 metres, and he will enjoy the rise in distance.
He will, Claire. His first up run was terrific. We just probably felt off that wide draw. He could have got across maybe outside lead, but he just struggled to even go at that tempo. So the step to 1,800 will really suit him. He was caught 3 wide the other day, hit his customary flat spot, and then he ran through the line off a wide run where there was no advantage to be wide on the day. So his run was great. He's improved up nicely. He's cleaned right up in the code. He's starting to look really good for that first up run. So you'll see him improve. He'll improve out to the trip. He's a $10 chance in the race. That's probably about his right price. But I think you'll see sharp improvement in him second up to the 1,800. Good jockey, lightweight, good draw, will run very well.
We'll move on to race 4, the Class 3 plate over 1,300 metres. We will have 3 running in this. We'll start with Ayahuasca. She'll carry 57 kilos. Jimmy Orman will ride. She's drawn barrier 15. Is a tough draw to overcome, but she's coming off a very good first up, second over the 1,200 metres, and the rise and trip will suit her.
He comes out of a good form race, I'm sure. Black on Beauty was the winner of that race, a stablemate. We'll talk about her later on in the day in a Class 6, and that Class 6 is an awful lot stronger than this Class 3. I think Ayahuasca has got the right form here. She's got the wrong gait, but she's a filly we're pretty keen to ride negatively anyway. This preparation was all about switching her back off and running on. I thought she did a great job, fresh up an unsuitable trip against real speedsters. This 1300 will really suit her. I think it's a step. I don't think there's anything in this that would beat the horse that beat her the other day over 1200. So I think she's a really good each way chance, just need a bit of tempo up front.
Okay, the second runner we have is Dramatica. She'll carry 55.5 kilos with Angela Jones's 1.5 kilo claim. She's drawn at barrier 14. A nice win last start on Rockhampton Newmarket Day over the 1400 metres. Has a good record at Eagle Farm, but another one with a tough draw.
Yeah, the barrier is annoying with her. She drew the good gate up there and she got the good run, and off that good run she won convincingly. That wasn't great grade. There's a bit of depth to this Class 3. But she's got the right form around her to run well in this, but we just got to get the right run. I'm just unsure if I can do that from that barrier. Just need to look through this race a touch more and have a good chat to the connections involved here. But if she drew well, and I knew she was going to get that right run in that second, third pair, she'd be right up to this. And I think you'd see her odds be a lot shorter. So it tells you the depth of this race, really, because she's a mare in good form. I don't love the barrier.
Third runner we have is Sunset Soiree. She'll carry 55 kilos with Kyle Wilson-Taylor on board, and sounding like a broken record, a wide barrier with barrier 13. Despite the margin to the winner, you thought her first up run was pretty good, running through the line strongly, and the rise and trip will help her as well.
Well, it was a day it was really hard to make up ground. She got right back and horses sort of up on the pace, dominated. Obviously the winner and the second horse are both very good. The winner's Smarties in later in this program, Freedom Rally stablemate, which we'll talk about, and the second horse come out and won quite well at Doomben last week, so I suggest it's a very good form race. I thought she ran through the line well. The step up in trip, the 13 or 1400 was what was going to suit her. She drew wide in both races, the 3-year-old race and this. This is probably the lesser of two evils, so I wouldn't like to see her get back as far as what she did the other day. She'll run through the line well, but yet again I just need to see speed up front, and therefore she'll get a chance to get home. Ayahuasca for me would be the pick of these three. I just think she's a bit more mature horse, and she has struggled in the past to train on in preps, but I'm very, very happy with how she's going.
Race 6 is the cutest 3-year-old handicap over the 1400 metres. We have two running in this. Freedom Rally is the first one we'll talk about, 55.5 kilos. Ben Thompson on board, he's drawn at barrier 5. He's another very talented one in the stable, winning his past 3 starts after only going down narrowly on debut in the summer. He does jump to 1400 metres now after 2 dominant wins at Eagle Farm over the 1200.
Yeah, he's improved again, this horse. He's better going into this than what he's been his first 2. He's had a funny prep. He had a bit of a blip. He got scratched at the barriers his first run back, if you remember. He had to go to a dirt jump out to get him ready for that midweek, which he won. Then he came out and he won very well the other day, which didn't really surprise anyone in the stable. I always thought this race was probably better suited than 2 weeks ago, and nothing has shown me in the last 2 weeks leading into this has said that it won't be. I think 1400 Eagle Farm, he's got a good draw. Ben rode him very well off a bad draw the other day. This doesn't look to have a huge amount of pace. I'd imagine he'll just sit very handy. I think he looks very well placed. He's my best chance on the whole card. Therefore I think he's very hard to beat here.
Second runner we have is Porky, carrying 52 kilos with Angela Jones on board. He's drawn barrier 2. He was a bit disappointing first up when caught on the inside, and much prefers to be on the outside of horses, but was good in a jump out prior to that and did win second up last prep at this track and distance. Yeah,
he just took the mickey out of his fresh up. He got a lovely run in behind him. He was a bit tardy to go, and he pushed up and got into a good spot and got a bit keen, and just totally resented being in amongst horses. So I'd put a line through Porky's first up run. He's got a low draw here, lightweight. I'd imagine we'll just make use of that. There's not a lot of tempo here. He's led and raced well in the past, and he's got the right form around him. Mr. Vowles and those horses, he's got really good form to be competitive here. I probably don't think he can beat Freedom Rally, but I think he can run really well. I think you'll see a better run than what you saw first up, because we'll ride him to his advantage, which is to be either in front or outside of horses, not cluttered up in amongst them. It's not his go at all.
So Freedom Rally's clearly on top. Race 7 is the cutest 3-year-old fillies handicap over 1200 metres. Another race we have 2 runners in. We'll start with Blue Spinel, 53.5 kilos with Angela Jones's 1.5 kilo claim. She's drawn at barrier 3. She is going for 3 wins in a row on Saturday, now out to 1200 metres, and was a strong winner last time. on Rockhampton Cup Day over the 1,050 metres.
Yeah, well, her runs have all been great. She ran super fresh up into maidens. We rode her just a bit quieter, which we've been doing all prep, and she was brilliant. Then the next start, she's posied up behind, and she had a great turn of foot and ran through the line, terrific. And then at Rocky the other day, I didn't think she ever looked in doubt. She travelled in behind them, and she got up inside of them, and she was just so strong through the line. The best thing about her here is she's got a jockey that knows her. She'll carry exceptionally lightweight with a good draw. There's nothing that I've seen out of her runs this time in her 3 runs back to say that she wouldn't run a strong 1200. She hasn't been out to the trip this time. Like, I just can't see how it's a problem for her whatsoever. So she'll just posse up in the second pair. She'll get a beautiful run, second or third pair, depending how quick they want to go. And I think she'll be very strong to the line, and we know she can handle good ground if Eagle Farm is that good ground. So I think she's very well placed in a very open fillies race.
Second runner we have is Little Wonder, 53 kilos, Ben Thompson on board, drawn barrier 1. Was disappointing first up when she probably didn't appreciate the shifty ground. She should get a better track on Saturday, and did win second up last prep for another stable. You have taken the tongue tie off and put winkers on.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do there. We had a tongue tie on her when she came to us, and I left it on, and I noted it went on prior to her last run down south where she went poor. So whether she just panics with that tongue tie on, I'm just not sure with her. I was positive how well she was going into the fresh up run, and I couldn't believe how poorly she ran under race pressure, and she didn't seem to control her breathing at all. She came in, she was very, very coarse in the wind, and she scoped clean, predominantly clean. So I feel it's whether she's resenting that tongue tie under pressure and therefore not controlling her palate. The idea of the tongue tie is to get horses to control their breathing and not help them not displace their soft palate. But if they do panic with it on, or they find it restricts them too much, they can still panic more and displace it. So maybe that's the case. If she's to show her true form, breathe well and race well, she's got the ability to win this race. I've got no doubt at all. So I'd have her on top if I knew what I was going to get from her. And if you look at her best form, it can be poles apart, her best to her worst, and it all comes down to a matter of controlling her breathing. So look, depends on what price they put her up. She'll be a watch runner for me. If she's big odds, I'd have something on her, because she's most certainly got the ability to win this sort of race. She's a lovely, big, strong filly that's easily Saturday class or better. We've just got to see her execute the race well.
Race 8 is the Class 6 plate over 1,200 metres. Another race with 2 runners. Rockamore is the first one we'll talk about, 59.5 kilos. Kyle Wilson-Taylor, barrier 14. First up on Saturday and did win at this track and trip. First up last preparation, and he did run through the line strongly in a jump out last week, but has drawn poorly again.
Yeah, drawn poorly, big weight under plate conditions. Not the best placed horse, I don't think. I'm not loving this for him, kicking him off in this race, to be perfectly honest. He's going really, really well. We know he strikes up so well his first 3 or 4 runs into a prep. I want to have a look at what other options we may or may not have with him. I do not love this race at all off the wide draw for him with the 59. This is a very good Class 6 plate.
Second runner we have is Black on Beauty, 52 kilos, Angela Jones on board, using half a kilo of her 1.5 kilo claim. Black on Beauty is drawn barrier 10, has a very good start to her career with us, close second first up, and then a dominant 3.7 length win last start at this track and distance. Yeah,
she's improved again nicely. Lovely mare, she's in great shape. Should have won fresh up, but driven mad, just got beat on the line by Hatchet. Come out bolted in second up. She's run into a good Class 6 here with a tricky draw, but with a light weight. If we can find the right spot in the first 4, she's the right horse with a light weight. There's some good horses in this race, but they're starting to carry a little bit of weight. We've got to give her, 5 to 7 kilos. It's a lot of weight, so she's a very sharp mare, destined for this racing or better. So I think she's an excellent chance. I just want to have a good look to see where I think she can map, because I think if she maps reasonably well, she'll be very hard to beat.
Okay, so she's going on top.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. Race 9 is the benchmark 85 handicap over 1,400 metres. Paladas is in this with 59 kilos. Jimmy Orman on board at barrier 7. He's well up to this if the real Paladas turns up. Last start it was a good run for a close third in the Rockhampton Newmarket. Yeah,
I thought he was really good up there at Rocky on a pretty firm deck up there. I think this sort of track with a touch of juice in it now will suit him better. He loved that run just in behind them with cover. He just didn't really get clear until late. Martin thought he got clear early enough. I probably don't agree. I think Paladas sort of horse that's got to get to the outside of horses to run on. He doesn't want to be probing up underneath. That's not his style. So if we can just get a nice run in the second or third pair with this horse, get to the outside, he can run really well. This benchmark 85 grade is right up his alley. He's coming back from racing in much better races than this. Even if he runs up to the run behind Antino fresh up way back in the winter, he can run well here. 85 grades is great. He's a definite top 3 chance in a race like this.
We're under the final furlong of this week's Final Gallop. Who do you think your best winning chance at Eagle Farm on Saturday is?
Freedom Rally.
Freedom Rally.
Yeah, he's my best chance. Yeah, he's my best chance. He's a very impressive young horse, and I really enjoy I'm really going to enjoy looking to see him out to 1400 Eagle Farm on Saturday. I think that track and trip is ideal for him.
Your best each way chance for the day?
Well, without seeing all the markets up yet at the time of us doing this on a Wednesday afternoon this week, Black on Beauty will run top 3. I just don't know what price she'll be yet as far as each way goes. Otherwise, I'll probably have something on Ayahuasca or Coupe de Tonnerre. They're both around the $10. I think they offer great value. So there's quite a few good each way chances out of the stable on the weekend. I think these are big fields at Eagle Farm, big competitive fields of racing. For off-season racing, this is a very good meeting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think the punters, if they latch onto the right horses, they'll get a bit of value on Saturday.
Okay. Your best at the Provincials, we've got Ipswich Friday and the Sunshine Coast on Sunday.
Look, I'd love to tip Andre on Friday, but I'd hate to give him any extra weight on his back, so I don't think I will, even though we have changed his training structure around a lot by spacing him out. I think he's enjoying it. He said he found a race good for him. And I think we'll go on Sunday to the Sunshine Coast.
Queen of Thoughts.
3-year-old maiden 1400. Fields aren't out obviously for there yet, but I loved her first up run at Ipswich. I thought she was great. She got no luck at all. A wide path. Sunshine Coast up to 1400. Very suitable for her Sunday. So Queen of Thoughts be my provincial tip this week.
Okay, your best in track work this week?
Freedom Rally was terrific. Yeah, he worked in company with Porky. I thought the Gallop was very good. They were both really good. There's a bunch of nice horses worked this week. I couldn't go past him. I loved so we're talking about track work. We took Skirt the Law and a workmate over Argyle Pink to Dooman and worked Melbourne way Tuesday morning. And I thought they were brilliant. I thought Skirt the Law was great on her Melbourne leg. She stepped straight onto it, and it's like she's done it before. So I'm starting to get a little bit excited about her getting down for the spring. So I'll give her a little mention out of track work on Tuesday.
Booked all your flights and your rooms? You're
pretty well.
Excited.
We're ready to go. We're getting excited for that first up run.
Okay, and your performance from the stable for the week?
I guess in a sec. She was the real performance. She got the job done for us on Saturday. She was the performance from the stable this week, and just a well deserved and a worthy winner.
Now, we don't have the special from PlayUp just yet this week, so make sure you watch in the show and also on our social media sites to look at what that special will be on Thursday and Friday. Okay, it is time for Cavs Corner, which is supported by the Brisbane Airport Hotels Group. No go for Cavs Provincial Multi last week. Let's see what he's got lined up for us in this week's Cavs Corner.
Welcome to Cavs Corner for this week. This week we'll venture to Eagle Farm on Saturday. We'll go Coupe de Tonnerre, and then we'll venture to the Sunny Coast on Sunday, and we'll go Queen of Thoughts. Coupe de Tonnerre a place, Queen of Thoughts a win. Good punting, guys.
So he's gone Coupe de Tonnerre, which you thought was a good each way bet, into Queen of Thoughts a win, which you said was your best at the Provincials, so it looks pretty good. Yeah,
they're both in good shape and lightly raced into their prep, and that's probably the key at this time of the season. You got a few horses, and we've got a few that are still dragging a bit on from the winter. I mean, at any point I guess their preps can end. We obviously don't feel they have, that's why they're at the races, but these things can happen where these horses that are fresh legs into this time of the year with the right form, they can race really well. So I don't mind his multi. I really like Coupe de Tonnerre's fresh up run, and step to 1800 second up, very, very suitable. $10, it seems to be very good odds. Off a good draw for once.
Yeah, we did film his segment in the office, so hopefully the horses did not hear him and don't feel the weight of his expectations. Okay, good luck on Saturday at Eagle Farm, Tony. Hopefully we can add to our wins at the last Metro meeting of the season. Yeah,
fingers crossed. It has been a great season winners wise, and everyone's put a lot of work in, and we're certainly not resting on our laurels. We've got one more Metro meeting to go. We're fresh off a double on Wednesday, which is really terrific. So hopefully we can punch home one or more winners this Saturday.
Absolutely. Best of luck to everybody.